Stories Podcast, your number one show for everything guitar.
We are back. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Andy. Hey.
How are you, dude? How are you?
I'm excellent. I was so looking forward to this episode 80 of the Guitar Stories Podcast. I couldn't be more excited, especially because we tried how many times to get that show on for season 4?
I think this is attempt number 3,
number
4?
4-ish, yeah.
But we're off with a bang. We've got Pauline France on today, and she has already joined us in the backstage area pre-show, and she's a lot of fun. We know nothing about her because we said, don't tell us anything. But it's going to be fun, I promise. It's going to be a wholesome and fun episode. I can tell in my bones.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to that. Sweet. Who's here? Who's in the chat?
We've got Valeria, who's moderating for us. Hi, Valeria. We've got Thomas, and we've got lots of other people as well. If you want a name read out, and then just send a little message in the chat, and we will shout you out. We've been away for so long, Dan. So much has happened.
Yeah.
So much. In fact, looking at the show when I was setting it up, do you know the last thing we talked about on episode 79?
No, not really. Probably some TV show?
No, gear-wise, it was a Stratocaster painted in the style of George Harrison's Rocket.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because shortly after the show ended, episode 79, Dan sent me a message and said that he'd bought one. And I sent him a message and said, so did I. So after the show, I don't know what we said about it, hopefully nice things, but we both bought the Rocky Strat for a cool 2000.
Yep. That was actually my first Fender ever.
Really?
Yep. Always had like loaners from friends and stuff, but never like actually bought a Fender guitar. That was interesting. It's a super cool guitar. You know, the colors and the whole vibe that comes with the guitar. It's pretty cool. So that was worth the $2,000.
Good. Mine's in the case. It's a bit of a case queen. I'll make some videos with it, and I have made some videos with it. However, it's going to stay almost pristine, I hope. Yeah,
it's got that glittery sparkle all over the scratch plate, and the more you play it, the more you kind of get that on your hands, and you remove it. So
I'll just get my kids to throw some more at it. We've got loads of glitter floating around the house. Too much glitter, one might say.
I wonder how you react if your son kind of takes pencils or pens or eddings or something and kind of redesigns the pickguard.
Surely that improves it, right? Like when you drop a relic guitar, it becomes more relic and therefore is more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hello to Sarang and to Poo Ninja. Hey Gary, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. April, also welcome. It is a big Fendery day because Fender have released the American Vintage 2, and there's actually one right there. And I chose not to release my video today, if you're watching live, because we know what happens when Fender do a major release. It upsets everybody. So I decided to wait tomorrow. I don't understand why people get upset. More guitars is better, right? I don't get it.
Of course.
I don't get it. So we're back this week. We're back with Pick of the Week. We're back with our wonderful guest. Mm-hmm. We're also sponsored this week, so we have some ad reads coming, so stick around for those, because who out of all the brands in the world would deem themselves worthy enough to sponsor this show?
Oh,
good point. Find out in a bit.
Yeah.
Do we have an introduction for Pauline?
I don't think so, and I've.
Does she need one?
Maybe she can introduce herself, because from what we learned in the very brief amount of time that we already spent with her, I think she wants to kind of give an update what she's currently doing and what she is and what she works, in what field she works, etc. So the only thing we can say, and I think this is already for sure, is that she's a lovely personality. She's got a contagious smile. It's I can't wait to have her on the show. Shall we?
Well, let's not wait any longer. Everybody, please welcome Pauline France. Hey, Pauline.
Hello. Hi, friends.
Hey.
How are you? Thunderous applause. Guten Morgen.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Wie geht's?
Sehr gut.
Ja, sehr gut, danke.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, France. You're not French, are you, Pauline? Just checking.
You guys, my name is no indication of where I'm from, but I have the most French, non-French name, Pauline
Okay.
France. But I love this question, and I'll give you the long answer since we have time. I'm not French,
We do.
in short.
Good.
I'm from oh god, I'm from the U.S., but raised in Mexico, and with a Middle Eastern heritage. So I'm a citizen of the world, I like to say.
Oh, that's
Yes,
nice.
multinational in the best
Yeah.
way.
Yes, yes, yes.
By the way, when I said good that you're not French, I didn't mean that I don't like French people. I just meant that I didn't think you were French, and I'm just gonna dig
Thanks.
myself into this hole even
No.
further.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can see the headlines coming. I can see the
that's
headlines
a good
coming.
save. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. No, I got
Vive
you.
la
I
France!
got you.
Vive la France!
Vive la France! France. That's funny. Yeah. So thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here on the first episode of this new season.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
joining us.
coming.
I sought you out because I found you on Instagram, and I just loved what you were posting and what you were doing with Fender at the time. And you have, as Dan said, this infectious personality. And I watched some of your Fender play stuff, and I've said the word Fender quite a lot so far, but we all have. But the Fender play is brilliant. I love it, and it was great to see you on there. But what is
Thank
it?
you.
Is it exactly that you do? Because you seem to do many things.
I do. Oh my God, where to start? Okay, so in general or with Fender? Just kidding. I'll keep it. I'll keep it to Fender. So my history with Fender is quite extraordinary, and I'm very excited about it. But it dates back to. I have to tell you what I did before so that you understand what I do now. Okay, it's a good story. So I started off at Fender as an intern in 2011. And prior to that, I mean, I'd played guitar. I started picking up guitar when I was 15. And I went to college for journalism with a focus in public relations, right? So I was getting close to graduation, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to get a job. And then I learned of an opportunity for an internship at Fender in Scottsdale, Arizona at the time. So I applied, and so did hundreds of other people. And I was in San Diego at the time. So I went for it, and I remember the interview process vividly because it was very intensive. It was very intensive. So I went through a lot to go to the interview, and I thought I completely failed. I thought I did abominably, and I didn't, obviously, but they called me, and I remember I was graduating, and they said to me, "Can you start in 2 weeks?" So I had 2 weeks, you guys, to figure out how to make this work, to move from San Diego to Arizona. And the moral of the story is when you want something, you make it happen.
Amen.
Okay? You want something, you make it happen. So I did, and at the time, I wasn't in any conditions to make a giant move, but through synchronicity and alignment of the universe, I made it work. Okay, so then what happened? I moved to Arizona, started off as an intern, paid internship, and for a guitar player majoring in journalism, for my first job out of college, I couldn't believe it. I was getting paid to meet the rock stars that I worshipped.
Yeah.
So
Could you drop some names? Sorry, Pauline. Can you drop
Oh
some
my
names?
God,
Just
yes, absolutely.
throw them down. Throw them right out there.
I mean, okay, I'll just go big. Of course, Eddie Van Halen. I know, he was so lovely. Eddie, rest in peace. John Mayer. Gosh.
Who?
Who else have I met a ton of Latin art. Well, a lot of people.
Eric Gales. I think I saw you with Eric
I
Gales.
met Eric Gales. Yes, Eric Gales is incredible. I met Eric Gales. I met. Okay, a lot of people don't know that Jason Momoa is a musician. Okay, he's actually a bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an incredible highlight too. I didn't meet him as an intern. I met him just recently, several times. I had to interview him. I had to. I had to interview him. Oh my
Someone
God.
has to do the job. Come
Oh,
on,
oh.
right?
So he's a bass player, and of course that was an incredible experience. So yeah, I mean, there's so many. It's hard for me to remember, but I have to tell you something super cool about meeting artists when they go to the factory is that you get to see a side of them that you normally don't see outside of the factory. Why is this? Because they're in your terrain, they're in your domain, they're kids in a candy store. The roles are reversed.
Right.
They're thrilled.
Yeah.
And they're lovely. They're lovely. So it was so amazing to be in that position of being a host and welcoming them and bonding over our shared obsession for guitars.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. And then the story. Do you want me to continue? Do you have any questions? up to
Absolutely.
this
Yeah.
moment? Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay. So internship wasn't guaranteed to turn into a full-time job, but it did. So 3 months. I was 4 months into the internship. They offered me a full-time position, and what was the internship about? It was a PR and social media internship. So I did, at the time, I was on a team that oversaw PR for all the brands that Fender had at the time. Takamine, Guild, Charvel, EVH, Fender, of course, Fender Custom Shop, Jackson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And then I also wrote a lot of blogs for Jackson Guitars, for Fender, et cetera, et cetera. That lasted 3.5 years. And then the unthinkable. I decided on my own to leave Fender. Why? If you guys are wondering why I left.
Why?
Why? Wait, how do you say why? Warum?
Warum? Yeah.
Warum? Okay. I had an incredible time there. Absolutely amazing. And I accomplished a lot in the 3.5 years, but for me, ongoing growth is critical.
Mhm.
So I felt like I needed to experience something other than Fender, because Fender was my first job out of college, right? That's all I knew in the professional corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
So then I wanted to tap more into my journalism skills, and I started to write for Acoustic Guitar Magazine, Guitar World Magazine, Classical Guitar Magazine. And I started to work for a boutique marketing and PR agency in the music industry. So I was still in the industry. We had big clients. Guitar World was one of them, actually. PV was another one of them, et cetera, et cetera. And then Fender calls me back. And they said, "Hey, Pauline," I don't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of, "We can't live without you." I'm just kidding. They didn't say that. They didn't say that. They said, "Ich vermisse dich." They said, "We miss you." And we've created a position in California that we think might be of interest to you.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I said, "Okay, tell me more." And it was the most recent role that I had, which was employee communications manager, which, if you guys ask me, was my favorite role of all time. Now, so they convinced me, they twisted my arm, and I moved back from Scottsdale to California, to the flagship motherland of guitar making, Corona, California. And I embarked on chapter number 2, because there's 3 chapters to my story with Fender. It's quite riveting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. So then I moved from Scottsdale to Corona, and essentially I helped build the employee communications department from the ground up. What they were seeking at the time was a bilingual communication strategist, which I am. I speak fluent Spanish, native speaker, and English. So why Spanish? Because, of course, California, we have a huge amount of our population is Spanish speaking, and we also have a factory in Mexico. So even though even though I was based in Corona, my role was global. I oversaw employee communications globally. And for me to be in a position, for anyone to be in a position where you have that level influence and reach is incredibly powerful, and one that should not be taken lightly. You don't just communicate, you get to shape culture, and you get to influence how people feel about what they do in their job, and about what how they contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to interview artists. And you get to write about guitar launches. So
And you get
I
to be on podcasts and
oh my
shows
God.
on
I
the
just
internet.
I know. And I have to tell you, this is so exciting because typically I'm the one doing the interviews, and it's such an awesome, refreshing change. So thank you. Thank you again. Yeah, so essentially I was in charge at the time of keeping employees in the know. I also, all of that is very cool and awesome, but you also have to do corporate stuff, right? Like keeping people in the know of company announcements, working with the executive team to help them craft their communications. So truly, I served as the voice of the company for up until August of this year.
Okay.
And yeah, incredible, no shortage of excitement there. And then, as life would have it, that opportunity ended. My role changed slightly.
Oh no?
Or exponentially. Well, no. Let me just tell
Yes.
you, it did change. I was part of the riff, not as the guitar riff, but you know, the circumstances affecting the world, etc., etc. But it was all very good, and let me explain why. Because the universe has very interesting ways to deliver blessings in disguise when you overstay your welcome. Okay. Remember, a few minutes ago, I was talking about how growth is very important to me. Because if you're not growing, you're existing. You stop living. You're not living. You're existing.
Yeah, you're stagnating. You're just
You're
still.
yeah. Well, but I wouldn't say that. But yes, ish. I did everything that I could. I had all the experiences that you can imagine. So now okay. Chapter number 3.
Hang on,
Now,
Pauline. Can we take a pause on between chapter 2 and 3?
absolutely.
Because it's our job to make sure that people keep watching and listening. And your story is so riveting that I want to go to a different segment and then come back to
Yes.
chapter 3 later, so
Please
that people
do.
think, one of those cliffhangers. I know there's a word for it. It's not cliffhanger.
The anticipation, I don't know, but I know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt you, but
Oh no,
I
I'll
did it
know
anyway.
exactly where to pick up. It's okay, I forgive you.
All
Also, we've been away from the show for so long that I was so totally enthralled in listening to you. I forgot we were on a show.
Oh, thank you.
We have to say hello to the people that have joined us in the live stream, particularly Michiel, Studio Camille, who's just given us a super chat of €4. And Dan, I've just worked out that he gives us the number of the season we're in.
Oh, wow.
And it has taken me 4 seasons to realize that in season 1, he used to super chat €1. In season 2, he super chatted €2. In season 3, it was €3. And now we're at season 4. How dumb are we?
Yeah, well, do you think we have to start season 5 next week?
Yeah. Season 100. Yeah, let's talk about some gear, Pauline, because we have a section called Pick of the Week. And it is so wonderful, firstly, to talk to someone who is working in the industry, but is actually a guitar player also, and seems very passionate and kind of nerdy in a good way.
In all the ways.
All the ways.
I am.
So I know you've picked a pick of the week, so a little bit rusty at this, Dan. Do we just go in for one of our picks of the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
We pick for
I think we
each
should
other,
have.
right?
Yeah, I don't know what Pauline's picked and you don't know, so maybe
Nope.
one of us should go first, and
Okay.
then have Pauline in the middle, and then the remaining one of us in the end.
Sounds good. Who's going first?
Me?
All right.
All right, here we go then.
Andy's pick of the week.
God, I've
All
missed that.
Yeah.
Right. The rules of pick of the week is: what is the piece of gear that has excited you most in the last 7 or so days? And there is a piece of gear that's been released that has excited me possibly more than in the last 7 years. It is
setting the bar
Boss
very high.
DS1W. Oh my goodness. The Boss
Shoot.
DS1 is my favorite pedal of all time. I quite famously own about 13 of them, and which is unnecessary, of course, but they all do sound and taste different. But now Boss have released the Wazacraft made in Japan, most importantly with a custom mode version of the classic distortion pedal, the DS1. And I genuinely jumped out of my chair when this was released, because it's genuinely so exciting for me, because I love that pedal. And I think almost everyone's owned a DS1 at some point, or at least played through one, I guess.
Yep, definitely.
But some people, I don't know if it needs a Wazacraft version, but I'm so happy that it exists, because I want to know what that custom mode does. And I purposely haven't watched any videos or listened to any sound clips apart from Boss's official announcement. I will say that Boss is sending one to me to try out personally, and I'll make a video, and hopefully I'll still be as happy when I try it as I am now. But that's my pick of the week, the Boss DS1W distortion pedal, the little orange box of goodness.
Wonderful. When you say it's got a higher price tag, what's like the price that's going for?
About 130 euros. I'm not sure what that is in Pauline's currency. Probably about the same at the moment, about $130.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can pick up a DS1.
I like the sound of that. Pauline's currency makes me sound like
Pauline's currency. Franco dollars.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's about double the price of a regular DS1.
All right. Okay. Well, if it's double the fun, then I'm okay with that.
I hope it is.
Yeah. But I'd be interested. Like, was the DS1 your first overdrive pedal or distortion pedal?
No. First was the Boss. No, sorry, the DoD 50X. So the yellow one of the DoD ones.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first overdrive pedal. Then my first distortion was a Big Muff. And then a DS1 finally at some point. Is Dan really fixated, or has he frozen?
He froze.
Dan has
Dan.
frozen. Oh, we've frozen him out of the conversation. I better check on my WhatsApp just
He
to
looks
make sure
mesmerized.
He does. I mean, it's just a Boss DS1, Dan. It's just a Wazacraft version. Pauline, are you at all a fan or anybody that you enjoy listening to play a DS1?
Honestly, I don't know of that. I don't know of anyone that off the top of my head that plays that pedal. Or maybe a lot of my favorite guitar players do, and I just don't know. But I will tell you, I'm all about distortion. All about distortion. All about metal. Which, if it's the time now to talk about my pick, or should we wait for Dan so that he doesn't miss out on the pick?
Oh, he's just told me that his computer has crashed and he's restarting and will BRB.
Okay, devastating. It's okay. It's okay.
Let's go for it. Yeah, you can. No, let's not wait. Let's go straight for it and see if he can guess. We'll give him some tips when he comes back.
Okay. Yes, good idea. Okay, so love the pedal that you chose.
Thanks.
Now, my pick of the week, drum roll, is not what people it's not what people think it is. But it has to do with, I'll just tell you. Here, the all-new Jackson X Series concert bass, CBXNT DX5. It's like, I don't know why I find that funny. Yes. Now, It's not necessarily the bass that I'm crazy about. I do love that Jackson is growing its bass offering.
Right.
Typically,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. It's just cool. So if you think of a metal show, and you know the guitar player is playing what, a Jackson, Charvel, or Ibanez, and then they're playing a bass that's not within the same family. I don't know. It doesn't vibe. I love, obviously, Fender basses are like the pioneering basses, right?
Sure.
But
Sure.
just to
Everybody
to
needs one.
match exactly, to match the look, it's cool to have a metal bass on stage. But something else that I love about the X series, just as a whole, not just this bass, is that it's a super awesome entryway line for aspiring metalheads. So great series and a great price point. Can you tell that I worked at Fender? Great series, great price point, great
Great price
entryway
point.
instrument. Yes, everyone needs one. Go get one now. Yeah, so plus being a metalhead, I absolutely love anything pointy and menacing looking. Oh, guitar
Nice.
wise.
So is it the what's color of this bass is your favorite? Did you say? Or did you say? Because I
Here,
think I know
no.
the bass you're talking about. It kind of looks a little bit like a Rickenbacker with the covered.
It is
Um,
exactly. Yes, it does look like a Rickenbacker. It does.
and I also so you're talking about the 5-string version, right?
Yep.
Guessing by the there was a 4-string version released at NAMM 2000 or 19, and I was at NAMM for that, and I also fell in love with that bass because it just looks awesome. I love the green one.
The
There's like
green
this.
one.
The green
Yeah.
is just it just makes me feel funny. It's
Isn't that
beautiful.
oh my gosh, can we just take a moment to reminisce on NAM? On the most memorable, momentous occasion for our industry. I can't believe that you came out here and we didn't get to cross paths, but we will.
We may have. I was just running at light speed, making videos and throwing microphones in people's faces. So I was all over
Yes,
the Fender Special Brands booth,
I
and
know. Which your backdrop kind of looks like it, right?
it
When
kind of does. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, it changes. Yeah, got loads of stuff behind
Yes.
me.
Yes, but yeah, the NAM, the specialty booth. Well, I always refer to the Fender booth as a compound because of its
Oh,
massive real estate. Yeah, so good times. He's back.
hey
I'm back.
Dan,
Hey.
the doctor is back in the house.
It was just running way too smoothly. It's just weird, isn't it?
We
Very
thought that you were
strange.
mesmerized by the pedal.
I was.
Yeah.
I was. I completely
Yeah.
missed probably your pick, but please fill
Yeah,
me in.
let's see if you can
Oh,
guess. Dan,
yeah.
can you guess what Pauline picked?
No, of course not. Maybe the new no, not Fender
I'll
American
give you a
Vintage Series?
hint. I'll give you a hint. I'll give
Okay.
you a hint. Metal, menacing, not Ibanez, but I love Ibanez.
Metal menacing, not Ibanez.
Pointy, related to Fender.
Metal. I was thinking maybe Jeff Loomis, but no.
Just
Okay.
if you can get the brand. What's the brand?
Jackson.
Metal?
Brand.
Yeah.
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 Okay. What did Jackson release?
Jackson released the all-new Jackson X Series concert bass.
Okay.
CDX NT DX5, and I was just saying how I love that Jackson is expanding its product offering in terms of basses, and that I love that the X Series is a great entryway line for aspiring metal players.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the
Yay!
price here. It's like 700 euros for a 4-string. So
Oh wow. Okay.
the price is certainly increased unless music store have higher prices than normal. When it came out, I remember it being the 4-string being about $500, something like that. So yeah, maybe prices are jumping up.
The world. Everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
buy one
So
less
that-
guitar this year. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding?
No,
Who am I
no
kidding?
such thing.
I'll go on a diet.
No such thing. How many?
Okay, let's.
Oh, go
Sorry,
for it.
Pauline.
Pauline? Yeah?
No, I
Go
was
for
just
it.
gonna say, how many are you guys up to? How many guitars are you up to? Easily double digits.
Yeah.
I'm at that number where the classic, if you know how many guitars you have, you don't have enough. And the genuine answer is, I do not know how many guitars are in this house. I can tell you that it really is too many. It genuinely is too many. I would need shares in string companies and fretboard conditioning companies just to keep these as well maintained as they should be.
I'm
It is
so proud of you.
Yeah.
It's
And did you-
disgusting. That's how many I am.
Do you recall the story from last weekend when I kind of discovered that old guitar in my mom's attic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was cleaning the house, like the apartment, moving her stuff out, and then in the corner there was that guitar case, that brown guitar case, and I opened that case and I figured out, oh well, that's a guitar I've been not looking for, but I didn't know it still existed, and it was a cool '76 Les Paul custom copy made by Ibanez.
Wow.
Lovely. Yeah.
Isn't that
Heavy-
beautiful? Just how you just said that. It's the guitar you weren't looking for, but that you knew you always needed, and you found each other.
Yeah,
You recognized each other in true
it-
soulmate fashion.
it was around all the time, and it was just I just couldn't remember, and that's the problem if you have too many guitars that you can't really appreciate all of them. So that's why personally I'm not a big fan of case queens. Usually the guitars I don't play I try to either sell or just put away as an investment, but not like have 30 guitars and rotate them like every week or something like that, because then you can't really build that sort of special relationship to guitar. I think that's very important to me, to kind of actually know an instrument, knows the the fine details and idiosyncrasies.
Of course.
I agree.
Naturally.
I think we're going to move on to Dan's pick, because then we can finally find out who has picked the best thing this week.
Oh yeah.
I'm slightly worried already, so it's time for Dan's pick of the week.
Dance, pick up the week. Dance, pick up the week.
Pick of the week. I love that jingle. I miss that so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, pick of the week. Today is not Wednesday, but it is actually Wednesday already in Japan. And this is the reason why there's already news out, and a new model has been released that looks like this.
Wow. Stop it immediately. Are those nylon strings?
Yeah.
You win. You win. I'm
This is-
dying.
So this is the new Tim Henson, Polyphia's guitar mastermind. Tim Henson has a nylon string, and actually I think the whole kind of thing he started when he was in Germany last time at Gearhead University. I think right after that he was kind of going through a couple guitar stores, and he figured out that old nylon string SC 500 that Ibanez did like a couple years ago. And he fell in love with that and kind of wanted to come up with his own kind of FR style shape. And so this is the new TOD. And the name is derived from the actual inlay, which is a tree of death. Hope you can see that. It's not the tree of life.
I've got some pictures, Dan. Shall I put the pictures up?
Yeah, of course.
For those, there's a. Sorry, Pauline, you're now covered up. But yeah.
Okay, that's a suitable
Pauline is now a
replacement.
nylon string guitar. That rather than tree of life, tree of death.
That's amazing.
Is it TOD 10N? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Tree of Death. 10 indicates like the premium or the non-Japanese made series, and then N for nylon string. Yeah, TOD 10N.
Wait,
Yeah.
repeat the 10?
Odd.
I thought
T-O-
it's a perfect. I thought the 10 was like it because it's a perfect 10. What is a 10 about?
It is a perfect 10. Let's just go with that because it's a perfect 10.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
Pauline, he doesn't need encouragement. Don't encourage him.
Oh my God! It's such a beauty. I want.
That's a nice one. And the
play
cool thing about it is it has a solid Sitka spruce top, but there's no sound hole here. The sound hole is actually
It's on the side.
upper side, so you can hear the guitar. And when you play it, you can actually
Put your
can
sandwich
you hear
in it.
Oh. Wow. Oh. Oh.
it? Yeah.
I can
Lovely
just see
piece.
myself dropping. I mean, typically when you'd be playing fingerstyle, but I would drop my picks right there if I put it in my mouth. No, don't ever put picks in your mouth, you guys.
I would just
Viewers,
dribble
yeah.
into it. I tend to dribble a lot when I play guitar.
That's
It would just be
hilarious.
full of my saliva.
That's a
Yeah.
convenient receptacle. Wow, it's stunning. I like that. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So new release for today, and I think this guitar is about to hit stores like by the end of the year. So latest by early 2023. Price tag is $699. I think
Really?
in dollars as well as in euros. Yep.
I cannot believe
That's
that.
a surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that price.
And here comes a cool fact. It's actually equipped with a Fishman Sonicore pickup. So you have all the preamp selections here, and the pickup is here. And yeah, that's a pretty cool package. And I had the privilege to actually play the guitar for I think 2 weeks now. So I played a little bit with it, did a couple of photo sessions as well. And I can't put that down. It's not just marketing, blah blah. It's really like kind of revisiting my old classical guitar days, you know, where you would drop the pick and just go finger style. Loop, boop, 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 boop. That's pretty cool.
I'll send you my address so that you've reached your 2-week mark. Now I can come to America. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is my
Wow.
pick of the week. Very excited about the release. Kudos to
Yeah.
Tim. I think it's a great guitar, and I hope that a lot of electric players will also have the chance to try it out because it's a really smooth transition. It's got I think like a 46 millimeters width for the fretboard, so it's not too wide. You know, it doesn't feel like a baseball bat when you usually play a classic guitar. It's like, oh, that feels so uncomfy. But it's like a pretty cool medium. So I really dig that. And the looks are pretty insane.
Wow. Can we see the
Let's-
headstock?
Yeah, of course.
Love.
Let's just
Look at
give that necessary
image.
disclaimer that Dan works for Ibanez. So disclaimer,
Ooh.
you know, because we're doing sponsorship now,
Yeah, that's right.
got to
But-
be above board and transparent.
But not being paid to be on the show. So that's like my private pleasure.
Yeah, I know. Just I need to bring attention to it. To be honest, I'm the only one that's independent today.
Actually, you and me together, friend. We haven't gotten to chapter 3. Thank you very much.
I was kind of hinting at it, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so Pauline, now what we're going to do is play a game called Buy, Borrow, or Burn. Buy,
Okay.
Borrow, or Burn, where we have 3 picks, and you have to buy one, you have to borrow one, and you gotta burn one. It's just a game, okay? So no brands are going to get upset. Ibanez is not going to get upset when you burn Tim's guitar. Don't worry about it.
No gear is being hurt. Nope.
Definitely not.
Yep.
Man alive. Right. To the chat, to the people listening and watching in the chat, please make your picks now. Who are you going to go for this week? Is it Pauline's 5-string bass from Jackson? Is it Dan's nylon string guitar from Ibanez? Or is it my DS1W distortion pedal from Boss? Yeah, make your picks now, and we will play the jingle and be back in a second. I borrow or burn?
All right. So.
Do you want to do the guessing game? Should we guess for each other?
Yeah, that would be lovely. So
Because we've known Pauline now for about 39 minutes, so we should be able to pick this up pretty easily.
Of course, of course.
May I guess for you, Pauline? May I guess for you?
Oh my god, okay, wait, so I have to guess what I'm gonna burn from the 3 that we just selected?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to guess.
Oh.
It's a way of explaining the game. I guess what I think you would do, and then you tell me if I'm right. Is that okay?
Please.
Okay, I believe that you would buy the nylon string guitar from Ibanez, borrow the Jackson bass, and burn the Boss distortion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yes, you answered correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate that I'm right.
Amazing.
I hate that I'm right.
No, I mean, I have no
Fantastic.
poker face, so you could probably saw me like just dying of excitement when he pulled out the classical. I'm like, ah! And I mean, yeah, absolutely. And my logic behind that is, of course, I love all the three things, but distortion you could get through your amp, not the same, right? But you could get through your amp, and then also, I'm not a bass player, so I would totally borrow it and then just return it. And I am originally a classical guitar player, so I would cherish that. Yes, so good. Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Good.
Okay, then
Fantastic.
Pauline, can you please guess for Dan what you think Dan would do?
Dan would burn the bass. He would. Wait, what? Buy, borrow? Okay, I
Buy, borrow,
mean, this is
burn.
a tough one because, he would burn the bass, buy the pedal, and borrow the guitar because he works at Ibanez, so he could just borrow it. You don't have to buy it.
That's right, but I still do.
Of course, I know. It's like inevitable. So did I guess correctly?
Not quite. I actually still
Aw.
would buy a guitar. You know what they say? Don't get high on your own supply. But if it's something that's so cool and so eagerly awaited, it's just I'll definitely go for the guitar and probably borrow the Boss Pod pedal from Andy.
And burn the
to give
bass?
it a shot. And burn the bass, yeah, because too few strings.
5 is not enough?
No, 6. 6 the magic number, right?
Then you might as well just play guitar.
6-string basses. Come on.
Okay, cool.
Well, you got one right, Pauline. I think that was
Yes.
pretty close.
It's good,
Thank
yeah.
you.
For-
That's one
for
out of
like-
three.
Thank
I
you.
mean, she didn't have like the full quality time with me because I was obviously out
No.
of the show for a couple minutes. So
Yeah.
I think 1 out of 3 is totally acceptable.
Thank you.
Right. Dan,
Alright.
it's your turn to guess for me. What would I do?
That is hard. I actually have never seen you play a nylon string guitar, if I'm not mistaken. So I think you would buy the Boss if they, if they didn't already have sent it to you. It's probably on its way already.
It's hypothetical, yeah.
Yeah. So hypothetically, you would buy the pedal. You would burn the nylon string just to check it out, and no. Borrow the nylon string and burn the bass because bass. How's that?
You are correct, sir.
Thank you very much,
Yay!
So, sorry to burn your bass, Pauline, but I absolutely have to buy the distortion in this hypothetical game. And yes, certainly borrow the nylon string. I'm not a nylon string player, never have been. Have played them, of course, when there was nothing else available, but that's the only time I play nylon string. Sorry.
It's okay.
Genuinely
it's okay.
not good enough. Not good enough. Not coordinated enough. However, I've seen Tim play this thing, and it just sounds and looks great. And for $6.99, that's the kicker. I thought it was going to be like $1,200 or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, I'm moving towards buying the guitar.
No.
I know, right?
You know how it started last time when we talked about the George Harrison Rocky Strat, right? You were like, okay, that's a cool guitar, but probably not for us. And then at the end of the show, we both bought it. So, I'm taking pre-order. So just let me know.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, yeah. Right, let's look into the chat and see what the chatty people are doing. Neville Craig will buy the Ibanez, borrow the DS1, and burn the bass. That bass is getting burned quite a lot. But not by Ian, who's buying the bass, borrowing the Ibanez, and burning the DS1 because there is enough in the world already. How dare you, Ian? Michael would buy the DS1 for me. Oh, thanks, Michael. Borrow the Tree of Death guitar, and sorry, his hands are too small for a 5-string bass. Studio Humil would buy the Jackson bass. Congratulations, we've sold a bass. Borrow the Toddion. I like that. That's what I'm going to call it. And burn the pedal. I'd like to hear the bass with the pedal. I'd like to hear the nylon string with the pedal. Right, that's going to have to happen. Pooh Ninja would buy the Wazza, borrow the Jackson, and burn the Henson like a bad Muppet.
Come on, give me a break.
Like a bad Muppet.
Jason has already bought the DS1W, borrowed the Toddion, and burned the Jackson. The pointy headstock does not jive with me at all. I respect that. I respect that.
Can I say something here on the point of the pointy head?
Yeah.
When you guys said let's play buy, borrow, or burn, I thought that we were gonna play like you were gonna just say in general. Oh, I have a thing. I was immediately gonna say no disrespect. I love all guitars, right? But there's one that I was gonna say I would burn this. Headless guitars. How do you guys feel about headless guitars?
Visually?
Yes, visually.
You know,
What
visually.
was that sign for, Andy?
I don't know.
That was
I don't know.
my being silent but not being silent.
Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
I'm going to answer. I look ridiculous with a headless guitar because I make a Strat look small because I'm just big. But I love headless guitars. They are so comfortable and so nice to play and so I don't know what. However, I probably wouldn't take one on stage.
Yeah. The
Got
other
it.
thing with the headless guitars, I can totally second what just Andy said. It's kind of, they are so comfy, and I personally own one, and I would never have thought I'd end up buying one, but I really think that, you know, when it comes to improvements in terms of the guitar design and kind of new technology, I think that genre and that clientele of the kind of progressive headless players, they are more open to that. You know, it's not like a classic Les Paul or a Strat or even like an 80s, mid-80s Shred guitar. It's, you know, with Strandberg, they have that unique Endure neck, and you know, the Ibanez Q series, they have that super easy to adjust what's it called, the monorail, kind of the bridgey thing, you know, all that stuff that's
Those are
rarely,
cool. Those are very cool. Dan.
they are super smooth, right? And they are proprietary, and all of that cool stuff can only be found on that kind of really niche portion in the market, whereas you've got like thousands and thousands of lawyers and blues, you know, like the blues lawyers guitars that almost all look alike. And I really like that, you know, a little bit of innovation from time to time, and that's why, you know, I completely respect and highly admire the whole headless scene.
Wow. Well, now I just feel horrible. Just kidding. No, no, I'm all for the innovation, and
Yeah.
I think I'm more with Andy. That I agree they're super comfy. I just wouldn't personally take one out on stage.
Yeah, unless it was like a future show, and you know,
Yes,
it's already in the
exactly.
future.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Although the Steinberg ones, you know, the ones that were, I guess, maybe were the original ones. I don't know, but those sort of real, they don't do it for me at all. They're too, they're too. There's not enough guitar there. You've already cut the head off. Give us some body.
What about
Exactly.
What about a Chapman stick? Tony Lemon?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You got big hands, right?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right. Well, interesting. An interesting insight into the way, you know, our minds work, I guess.
Yes.
I think we all passed the test.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yay.
There's a lovely people in the chat. If you're listening in the chat, and I am reading the chat, and it's really nice to see you guys back and all being nice to each other. We've got someone new called Kim's Workshop who says, "Hi, folks. I love
Hey, Kim.
musicians and guitars." So,
Oh, we all do.
totally.
Hi,
Welcome.
Kim.
Hi, Joe. Joe Holsworth. Hi, Franz.
Hi.
Yay.
So, we are sponsored this week by
Mhm.
some people that we respect, and we're going to have to, before Pauline tells us the third part of her saga with Fender, we're going to do a little ad read. Is that okay with you, Pauline?
Yes. See you guys later.
Okay. Then you can magically disappear. There we go. Oh no, I accidentally kicked on it. Right,
There
let's
you
how good
go.
a professional we are. So,
Yeah.
yeah, which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do the? I know we'll do the one.
Yeah.
You know that Dan. all guitars are great. Even the bad ones can be fun, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Even the headless ones can be fun.
It's just, sometimes you need the right tools to make them better, right?
Yeah, and some guitars can be bad, they can be good, but all guitars can be made better. And who better to help you make guitars better than StewMac? StewMac have sponsored our show. They make some of the best tools in the world. I have a handful of tools that I bought over the years, and I've been on their websites and bought stuff that I didn't know I needed or wanted. I just thought, that's cool. And then end up with a diamond fret file or something that I then manage to sometimes fix a guitar with.
Yeah.
Have you got any StewMac tools, Dan?
Personally, I have like a few, but we always have to kind of differentiate between purchasing from the States at StewMac. They have great tools, but it takes some time if the stuff arrives here, or just buying from some local competitors that are also available. But here's the thing: one thing that really strikes me with StewMac is that they discover cool ideas and turn them into actual products. I've seen quite a few tools that StewMac brought to the market that kind of derived from fans' ideas or from luthiers that had an idea. Okay, we could do it like this or that, and fret polishing, toolery, etc. And that really that gels me for me to kind of see someone again innovating the biz and kind of making luthery easier for people to kind of also get into the whole thing. And I think we also see a lot of StewMac content on Phil McKnight's channel, our friend Phil, and
absolutely. Phil is an absolute
legend,
proponent
right?
of StewMac and a legend, of course. And StewMac's own YouTube channel with Dan Erlewine and loads of other new people is one of my favorite things to watch. And I know that a lot of those tools were devised because Dan had, not you, Dan, the Dan from StewMac, was needing to create something that did a job better. And if anybody has any guitar tool needs, then stewmac.com is something that will help you out. And regarding your talking about getting stuff in Europe, Dan, being more difficult, maybe that will change. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but I just did.
That would be a game changer.
It
Really.
would be. So with us being a kind of European show, there's a reason they're sponsoring us. Again, I'm not sure if I should say that, but they've already paid the invoice. So what the heck?
Is there some sort of additional cooperation planned with you? To kind of.
I'm not saying that I'm going to start selling StewMac tools, but I'm not saying I'm not going to. No, it's not me. It's not me. I don't know what's happening, genuinely, but I do a little bit.
But I think, Andy, you still have a modding guitar at your place that desperately needs to be modded. Maybe there are some tools from StewMac that could be used for that as well.
They could, but they've already had more than their 30 seconds, so I want to get Pauline back in.
All right, cool. Let's get her back.
But just so you know, it's an Ibanez. Pauline, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Hi, I missed you guys.
We missed you. It was suddenly less enjoyable for a little
So
bit.
lonely.
Sorry,
But actually,
may I ask where you are? Where are you, Pauline? Because there's a big B behind you on the window. Not an insect. There's a letter B.
Ooh, I am in an office in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an office.
You're kind of near our friend Ryan and our friend Steve from 60 Cycle Hum podcast and YouTube channel.
Hi, Ryan and Steve.
No, don't talk to them. They're bigger than we are.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
no, only
But
Andy
Pauline,
and Dr. Dan. Tell me.
yeah, Pauline. So you just said you were in San Diego. Does that mean it took you like full circle, and now for chapter 3 you kind of came back to where you started the whole adventure?
Oh, I love this question. Yes. Isn't that remarkable? My God, I didn't even realize that. Yes. So chapter 3.
Yeah.
How do you say 3 in German?
Drei.
Drei. Chapter
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Drei. Okay. Okay. So, blessings in disguise. Shortly after the transition in roles, I have to backtrack a little bit. As I was doing my full-time employee communications role, I was recruited by the Fender Play team, entirely different department, because my role in employee communications was in human resources, in HR. So the marketing team, Fender Digital, technically, Fender Play recruited me because they knew that I spoke Spanish, English, and I'm a guitar player. And I love teaching. I've been teaching since I was 17. So I started to do that as my schedule allowed, which wasn't that often. So when they found out that I suddenly had more time in my hands, they're like, "Hey, come here." So I'm doing more Fender Play guitar lessons, which I absolutely love. Teaching is a big part of my life. I love to teach. I love to help people realize that they have the ability to pick up the guitar at any point of their life. It's all about your mindset. So a lot of the lessons that I teach have to do with that, right? With removing the belief that once you reach a certain age, you're expired, you can't play guitar, or that you have to have musical, you have to come from a musical family. Exactly, right? Like, but these are real life excuses that are pervasive and just silly. So it is my mission in life to eradicate them and to make every living person on this planet a guitar player. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a good mission. Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so Fender Play. Love my Fender Play people. And I think it's super funny right now because I see someone with a username Nissan, which is funny, and I'll tell you why. In addition to doing Fender Play, I am the face of Fender Premium Audio. Are you guys familiar with Fender Premium Audio?
Nope.
Yes.
Can you fill us in?
Yes, I will gladly. Okay, so for those of you who've been to NAMM, you might recall seeing a lovely truck welcoming people in the entrance of the Fender booth. Yes? No? Perhaps?
I haven't seen
Maybe
the
not
truck.
the NAMM show? Okay. So Fender and Panasonic joined forces about 11 years ago to launch a state-of-the-art, mind-blowing premium audio system that is inside certain vehicles, including Nissan, et cetera, and soon to expand, right? Years ago at a NAMM show, I did a segment for our intranet with Jim Viola. Hi, Jim, if you're watching. Hello. So we stayed in touch, and essentially what I did was like a carpool karaoke segment showing the capabilities of this amazing audio system. And they reached out saying, "Hey, we would love for you to be more involved with Fender Premium Audio." So you guys, this is super fun. I basically fly out to music festivals. We bring the beautiful Nissan Frontier. I recruit festival concert goers to come inside the car. We have GoPros mounted in the car, and we crank our favorite music, and we capture the reactions, and we have the time of our life. Because truly, it is an incredible experience. I'm not even joking you. Imagine Gojira just top volume in that car. You feel like you're at the concert. It's incredible. It's epic. So I've been staying super busy with Fender Premium Audio and running their social media soon here. So, and then I'm leaving for Nashville in a couple of days for the Jason Aldean concert. So if you guys are in Nashville, come say hi and check out the audio system, Fender Premium Audio. And so are we on chapter 3 yet? Yes, we're on chapter 3.
Yeah.
We are.
So with Fender, that's what I'm doing currently, Fender Premium Audio and Fender Play. But I am an independent free agent right now, which means that I'm also working with Guitar World magazine. I'm a contributing writer for Guitar World, and other opportunities that arise, the right opportunities. So if there's anybody listening here, call me. Yes. So that is chapter 3 in a nutshell. And it's been exciting because I just wrote about this recently. Everything that I did in chapter 2 was internal. And there were some powerful, compelling stories. Now my reach is international, it's wider, and I get to share stories with people all around the world, including Germany. So I'm just so excited. It's awesome. I'm very happy, and I'm very grateful for Fender. I love Fender and all the opportunities that I've been able to realize through them.
Yeah. I think they also have been part of your whole life. You're always gravitating kind of back
Isn't
to
it wild?
Fender, and yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't
But
that wild? And it's really interesting because I have to tell you, my first ever guitar. Oh my gosh! I wish I would have looked this up because I can't tell you what model it was, Dan, Doctor Dan. But it was an Ibanez. It was an
Oh, sweet.
Ibanez.
okay,
My first ever guitar heroes were all Ibanez players, and you could. Who wants to guess? Anybody want to guess who my favorite guitar player of all time was back
Paul
in the
Gilbert.
day?
Paul Gilbert?
Stop it! Yes, yes. How do you know? Did you research?
No.
Oh my god!
Everyone loves Paul Gilbert. That's a.
Dude.
Also,
gosh.
it was too easy to go for Steve Vai because that would be too obvious.
There's oh, he's definitely among the top 3. But there's one more missing.
Ibanez player.
Yeah.
Is it George
Boogie.
Benson?
Oh,
Oh.
Satriani.
No,
Yeah.
Joe Satriani.
Yeah,
So
of course.
so I bought this. I'm gonna look it up and I'll tell you what it was, Dan. But I had my second. This was my first real like high performance guitar, and it was a beautiful lavender. I wish I had it. It's a beautiful lavender Ibanez that I had autographed by Paul Gilbert, and then I sold it on eBay for like $325.
No.
No!
I
Pauline.
know. The one that got away. Actually, there's 3 that got away. Don't ask me about the other 2. It's too painful. Yeah. So, anyways, my first electric was a Squire, and then my first high performance was an Ibanez. So I love Ibanez.
Was it an
Ladies?
RG shape or S shape or
S shape. S shape. It was an S shape. It's
S?
coming back. S.
like the S, like the thin kind of thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
super
yeah.
thin, super thin. It was
Sweet, yeah.
stunning. Matte. It had a matte finish to it.
Sweet. Okay. Well, do you recall which year it was? So maybe it was. Yeah.
What year
Oh,
was
God.
it? It was. I know. Oh, it was. Please play. Cue the violin music. Nostalgic. What year was it? This probably was around 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who Ninja's guessing at the 540.
No, that's an insult in disguise. Because that guitar got released in '87, and I don't think that Pauline bought her first high performance guitar in '87.
In '87. Oh, that's funny. I mean, that would have been very impressive.
Yeah. Would have been a great guess, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well.
Don't worry. I'm
Well,
going to find out before the end of our call. Continue.
Good.
All right.
Let's play
Yes.
this game a little later, maybe. What we like to do on the show, Pauline, is allow or invite people to ask our guests questions. And we've had a few questions come in through the chat, and I've pinned a few. But we kind of wanted this episode to be geared towards, like, exactly what you said at the beginning. If you want something hard enough and you want it so bad, you will make it happen. But sometimes you need a helping hand. You know, and part of wanting that to happen is to seek a helping hand and take advice and take help. And I know there have been some questions in the chat about looking for Fender interns, for example. But yeah, let me look at these messages. Roger wants to know he says, sorry, I thought this was a question, as in what's the best area for journalism? But he said that the guitar is the best area for journalism in a positive way. I think so. Valeria, our moderator, says that you're twins, because she's also bilingual with English and Spanish. She's from Chile,
Hi.
and
Oh, hermosa. Mucho gusto.
so, yeah, Valeria is awesome. She's here every week, and yeah, thank you, Valeria, for everything that you do for us. If you have any questions for Pauline, now's the time to ask. I have some questions, so I'm going to go with mine first.
Please
And
bring
that
them.
is, so let's say, put yourself back to when you got that job and you had to move in 2 weeks
Yes.
to take the job. What was the scariest part of that?
Oh, this is a fabulous question. And the underlying message of achieving anything that you want, in my opinion. I want people to understand, if they have just one takeaway, is that the path to success is not linear by any means. You're going to have to work and you're going to have to improvise. Life will change keys on you when you're not expecting it. You're going to have to play jazz, my friends.
That's
Majorly.
excellent. That
Yes.
is excellent.
Yes, you're going to have to play jazz. Now, why do I say this? Because I had a modest living growing up. I was always, we were always very comfortable. Up until my dad, he passed away. He passed away very suddenly, and we were not expecting that. So I want people to just really remember this, because they only see the glamorous part. They see Pauline meeting artists and interviewing them and just crushing it. But they don't know the events that developed the character that turned me into the woman I am today. So the scariest thing that happened was losing a parent in a very unexpected fashion. The ensuing economic catastrophes and a period of homelessness, even very long, 4 months to be precise. When you lose a parent, is not the best grieving environment. Okay. So what do? You channel, you choose, you have a choice. Okay. You can choose to be like, oh my God, this sucks, which it did. But you have to channel any difficulties into resilience and the drive to overcome them. Okay. So I did. At the point that I found out about the internship, you could argue that I was just a student, but people need to remove that word from their vocabulary. You're not just anything. You are a badass, period. Whatever it is that you are, okay? So once you've established that, you have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Everybody can perceive that. The scariest thing, to answer your question finally, is the uncertainty. The uncertainty. I had like $6 in my pocket, you guys. I had $6 in my pocket. A mom and a sister, very small family, right? But we were surviving. So thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I might have to leave this behind at a time when we just lost our dad. What am I thinking? I'm not going to pass up on this opportunity with my current limitations. Super important thing. Do not allow your current circumstances to dictate what your future is going to look like, ever. You create your future. As impossible as it may seem, as unachievable as working for Fender right out of college may seem. So what did I do? I get the internship offer. I email my little network of people. Hey, you guys, I need a place to stay in Arizona. Do you know anyone? I'll never forget. I get a call from Scott and Susan and John, if you guys are watching. I get a call the day that I'm graduating. And I don't recognize it, so I don't answer because I'm graduating. But I listen to the voicemail and it says from Scott, hey, Pauline, my name is Scott. I got your information from John. Listen, my wife and I want to help you out with the internship, and don't worry about the money. We just want to help you out.
Wow.
faucet of tears in a beautiful home in North Scottsdale for 4 months where I got to meet my guitar heroes. Hello. I could have said no. I could have said, I have $6, you guys. Sorry, I can't. Absolutely not. So that was the scariest part, was leaving my family behind, going to a state where I had no family or friends with $6 in my pocket. Terrifying, I would say, but the best decision I
100%.
made in my life up until now.
Yeah.
That's
I think sometimes
a
you
great story.
probably just have to take that kind of giant leap and jump into the water and find out if it's too cold to handle, or if you can just maybe start swimming, right? It's
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I think if I can encourage people to do anything too, is to pursue anything that piques your interest, because the worst thing that can happen is living with regret, in my opinion, is living a life of what if. That for me is terrifying. So I just go for it. What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. That's more terrifying than doing the terrifying thing. Is lying on your
Exactly.
deathbed and thinking, "Oh, I kind of played it safe there." You know,
Exactly.
what a waste of a life.
Exactly.
We have a message, Pauline, from April, who says, Pauline, I left home with $45 in my pocket, and I'd never spent a night away from home before I moved to Hollywood. That's
Aw,
amazing.
Yay! Go April.
Yeah. And for the first time ever, our chat has been infiltrated by a dating site. So hopefully our moderators will be kicking that person out very, very soon. But welcome, dating site. Thank you for joining us.
That's hilarious.
That's never happened before. So
Nope.
obviously we're changing the world
Yeah.
these days.
Yes.
We
Absolutely.
have another ad read from another wonderful sponsor. So, Pauline, we will bid you adieu for a short moment.
I will become a headless guitar now.
Yeah. But then, Andy, I think we'll then find out like what Pauline's secret recipes are if you want to make it in the guitar industries, right?
This is the part
Yes.
I've been waiting for. This is
Ask me
absolutely
all the
my favorite
questions.
part.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
All right.
thank you, Pauline. Thank you so much. Dan,
Yeah, but
another sponsor, right? We're gonna go for it. It's a read. Dan and I are actually really happy, everybody, to say that this week is sponsored by Guitar Auctions at Gardner Holgate. This is the UK's leading auction house for guitars, musical instruments, and related items.
what kind of related items, Andy?
Well, Dan, they also have amps and pro audio equipment and cool memorabilia.
Okay, so do they also have any cool stuff?
Yeah, I mean, they have cool memorabilia, but they also have like famous guitars and things that everybody wants to own.
Like what?
One that I missed out on because I was just shy of the price it went for. This was the Gretsch White Falcon from the Foo Fighters Monkey Wrench video. Did you know that one?
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
They listed it and it sold for just over £58,000. The one that Pat Smear owned. So what a guitar to want.
Damn. Okay. Wow. But is it like? I mean, 58K. Is that all that expensive?
No, Dan. They have antique stuff. They've got vintage and classic and modern guitars for every budget. Lots of cool 60s like Tysko stuff and things like that that go for about £100, for example.
I remember they also had a couple Ibanez that went for very cheap money. But here's the thing: I always wonder. It's in the UK, and under the current circumstances, do I need to have like book an expensive flight or what?
Nope. All sales are live streamed where you can watch them and bid from the comfort of your sofa, your car, your bathroom, anywhere with an internet connection. And they help arrange a shipping service from the UK to wherever you might be.
Andy,
Yeah.
this sounds like an ad read.
Well, it is an ad read, Dan, because they sponsored us this week. However, I personally have bought 3 guitars from them, and I'm working on my 4th.
That sounds amazing. You know what? I spent hours and hours checking out these guitars, and it's just it's insane. But so, I really love to not pass on the next auction. Do you know when that is?
I do. It's in December. It's on the 7th and 8th of December, which is in roughly 8 weeks from now. And if you want to register to bid, you can go to guitar-auctions.co.uk. Register now. Look at the catalog they've got. Check out their Instagram. There are some fine things. So that's guitar-auctions.co.uk with a dash in between guitar and auctions. And to be 100% clear, I bought a Kurt Cobain Jaguar, and I'm going to unbox it on the channel soon. And yes, I already have one, but I bought the Road one from, believe it or not, another Fender guitar. So yes, now I have several Nirvana guitars. And I knew she'd do it. Valeria, thank you so much for putting the link in the video chat. So if you're watching, just go and click that. And well, maybe not click it because I want to hear what Pauline says, but click it later, and then you can find out all the fun stuff that they have on offer on December 7th and 8th.
Yeah. We'll probably check that out, right? What they
Absolutely.
have
I'll be there.
show.
I'll be watching. I'll be pretending to work and watching Luke sell guitars.
I wonder if that works here as well. Let's find out.
If there's an Ibanez, technically it's work, right?
Kinda, but you know, UK,
Research?
not our territory. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, let's do research. By the way, I sent you a link of a guitar.
Hi,
that I
Pauline. She's
identified.
back. She's back.
She's back. Can we
You
quickly
did-
find? Can we quickly
Yes.
find out if I kind of
Pauline.
did my homework?
Tell
Is
me
this
everything.
your guitar?
I found it. Oh my god! Yes, it's the S30, S370.
That's a 470, but yeah, they should be similar. Probably with regular.
the
Pauline, he
S-
is good, right? He's good.
You are
How good is he?
outstanding. And wait, I have even worse news. I didn't sell it for like, what did I say? I sold it for like $325.
350,
Yeah.
325.
I sold it for $290.
Oh no! Not even
Pauline.
think about the signature. That's really.
I was
bad.
young. I was in college,
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, that's one thing I've learned. Ebb and flow. Guitars come and go, and that rhymed unintentionally, but they do. They do. They just magically manifest somehow.
They really do.
They do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're manifesting too much in my place at the moment. But yeah, I absolutely agree. And what's meant to be will be.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I deeply believe that you can still at least adjust the variables in order to make it more likely that things will happen. And that would actually be a question, Pauline, from your like 3 chapters. I mean, you have a life in action titles, right? From these, with all that stuff kind of unexpectedly happening. What do you think are the key learnings or the key qualities, let's say, as a for a person to kind of make it in the music industry or the guitar industry? Because I think like landing an internship or landing a job at first place might be something that's either by luck or by talent or qualification might be possible. But what do you think are the traits that actually are required to make it in the long term in that industry, to become a
Yes.
personality?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many great questions. Okay. First and foremost, I don't believe in luck. I believe in preparation.
Uh-huh.
Always prepare yourself. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go for something if you don't think you're ready, because then you will never go. You will never do it. Okay. So so hard work, preparation.
Okay.
Number 2, do not predispose yourself. Go for it. There's so many people, you guys, who may not be as talented as others, but they're not aware of their limitations, and they go for it and they achieve. Do the same, my friend. Do the same. Okay? Personally, I'm a very passionate person. I absolutely love what I do. So if you don't love what you do, then why pursue it? And if you're not doing what you love, then what are you doing?
Yeah, of course.
What-
Yeah.
So, as far as some of the more tangible strategies that I implemented, when I was in college, I had already had 4 music industry related internships under my belt. Internships back then, and I believe that the same is true now, were the new entry level jobs. Don't wait until you graduate And even if you're not in college and you're, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 corporate jobs into your career, it's never too late. But for those in school, for example, don't wait until you graduate to be like, now what am I going to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Try to get as much work in as you can. And don't be afraid to approach people. That's what I did. Okay. So back in the day, around 2009, there was a wonderful guitar academy called the National Guitar Workshop. If Dave Smulliver is watching and Jason Chadwick, hello, friends. And I attended the National Guitar Workshop to get my certification as a guitar instructor. And I remember walking up to the founder, Dave, and I said, hello, I'm going to work for you one day. And he's like, okay. You just walk up with conviction.
Yeah.
You walk up with conviction. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. You may get turned down and it won't feel great, but so what? Their loss. So I did. I ended up getting an internship with the National Guitar Workshop, and then I met a ton of people at Premier Guitar Magazine. Then I found out about the internship at Fender. I networked a lot with NAMM. I got a scholarship through NAMM. So do all the things. Show up to all the events and show up like you're meant to be there. Don't act like, you know, walk into any room like you own it, and people will treat you like you do.
Oh wow, that's great advice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh God, I have no shortage of stories like that where that's actually how I met Joe Satriani. I was 15. Wait, was it Joe? Yeah, Joe was so lovely. Joe I met backstage at an 18 and over show in San Diego. And I was 17, and my mom, bless my mom, God bless her, she and I camped out the venue that has now been demolished all day during sound check to see if I ran into Joe. And I did eventually. But Dream Theater I met. I love prog rock and all the good stuff. Dream Theater I met at a venue here in San Diego too. You just walk like you belong and try it. Be respectful, but try it.
I also recommend a high-vis jacket. Wear a high-vis jacket. You can get it anywhere.
What's a high-vis jacket?
You know those fluorescent yellow.
Oh my God! Or a ladder. Walking with a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's a good one.
Funny.
Or bring a guitar. Bring a guitar also works. You know, hand delivery. Come on.
Or pizza.
Yes. So those are the strategies. Just show up. Be yourself. Be yourself. I remember the words that my first boss at Fender told me when I was offered the job. Pauline, you're really good at doing PR for yourself. We know you'll be good at doing PR for Fender. So you have to start by working on you and believing in yourself so that others follow suit. And yeah, just remember too, when times get tough, because they will, that you work in the guitar industry. You are not selling tape dispensers. You are, or seatbelts or anything mundane. You are selling something that came from a living, breathing object that changes lives. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Because there were points too where I was starving in a meat market. What do I mean by that? I was surrounded by all the guitars in the world, and I hardly played guitar. You know? Was that a sign of relatability? Yeah, so you have to take a step back and just, sometimes you have to disconnect to reconnect. Yeah. What else? I want to say one more thing about not allowing your limitations, your current limitations, to dictate your future. I remember when I was teaching, that's how I got through college. I had a ton of students, and I had a guitar brand that shall remain unnamed. Because what did we say at the beginning? That all guitars are good, even if they're not good. This one was bad, you guys. It's like, it was embarrassingly bad. And as the teacher, you know, you want to have a decent instrument, but I didn't. So I would have my students show up with custom shop Gibson guitars, top of the line Taylor acoustics, and I would feel terribly embarrassed. They would never say anything. They didn't even know. But what did I do at that point? Because that's all I could afford. I said, one day I'm going to have all the guitars that my heart desires. And a few years later, that came true. I was working in the mecca of guitar making with so many guitars that I now lost count. Had I said, oh my gosh, like victim role, oh, woo is me, that's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. So believe it. Believe it. If you can dream it, you can achieve it, as cliche as it sounds. But it's true. I'm a living testament to that.
It is true. It absolutely is. And there are shades of my life that are very much in parallel with that. Pauline, we've got one final question, which is coming from our audience. And I want to frame it as this. And that is, it's from April, who says, how do you get self-confidence? But I want to expand that question. Because you're a very bubbly, friendly, energetic, passionate person. Imagine, if you will, there's a day where you don't feel quite 100% Pauline, and maybe there is a situation where you walk into a room or you're about to, and you don't feel like. How do you turn it on if you need to?
Love this question. Thank you, April, and thank you, Andy. You have to have self-awareness. You have to have self-awareness. The moment you catch yourself being self-deprecating, stop to the best of your ability, and it won't happen immediately, right? But just stop yourself and remind yourself of the miracle that is life and the miracle that you are and everything that you've achieved. On that note, you are not your achievements, which I know sounds maybe as a contradiction to everything I just said, but it's not. I am not Fender. I am not guitar. Detach yourself from the outcome. Don't be hard on yourself. And the moment you catch yourself, having a cruddy day, because you will, live through that feeling, embrace it, acknowledge it, and then release it. Live through it. You need those moments. You need the hardships because they teach you what you're capable of. I have no, I might have changed a couple things from the things that happened to me, but embrace any form of hardship and know that it is temporary and know that it will help define who you are. That helps with developing self-confidence and being kind to yourself. Be kind. Be kind to yourself is all I can say. Love yourself in a healthy way. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. In society, you're not trained to pat yourself on the back. It's kind of looked down upon. Oh, he's full of himself. She's full of himself. No, she's full of self-love. He's full of self-love. So another way to develop self-confidence is feel comfortable praising yourself in a healthy, balanced manner, acknowledging how far you've come religiously.
Yeah, I think you got to love yourself before you can love others, right? And kind of spread that as well. Yeah,
and it radiates. You begin to emanate that, and then as magic, you start to attract people who are on the same plane as you are. Like right now, this is not a coincidence. It's not. No. Everyone who's here too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fully agree.
Our chatting website people are still, they're back again.
They're just adamant.
They really want to spread that love. Trying to spread that love so hard.
Yes.
Pauline, before we leave you and before we thank you, Dan actually has something he'd like to say about Ibanez in Germany. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, correct. Because this episode is actually about how to get hired in the music industries. And I and my team, we're actually looking for new stuff. We're looking for a marketing specialist. So if you're interested in working in the industry, if you love guitars like this and all the others, kind of just jump into the water and send a CV. And maybe we can sort it out. Send it to Daniel@Ibanez.de. And the only prerequisite is that you would move here, because we've got like right behind me are like 200 Ibanez guitars, and they all need to be played on a regular basis. So you definitely have to move here. It's lovely. Andy occasionally stops by, other artists as well. So if you want to take a jump and see how the MI industry works, there's an opening here, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity to kind of shout that out to the world. So if there's anyone in the chat or on the podcast interested, give it a shot, and do what Pauline said. Come here and just own the place and show us that you love to be on board, and then it will eventually probably become reality. So looking forward to any applications from you guys. Thanks.
Yay! Do it. You might
Pauline,
get one
I
from
wish
me
I had.
too,
I wish I had a
Dr.
job
Dan.
that I could hire you for.
Hey, we can create a position. If it doesn't exist,
Sure.
create it.
Yeah.
Right. I'll
Yes.
be in touch. Get our
Yay!
people to talk together.
Oh,
Right,
my
Pauline,
friends, yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute joy, and I mean that from every inch of my body. It really, really has, and I hope that people have enjoyed the episode. It's great to be back. It's great to have new friends. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh! Thank you both. And I just want to say something, and I hope I don't butcher it. Ich hatte viel Spaß.
Wunderbar.
See, I wrote some down. Ich liebe über Gitarren zu sprechen.
Yeah, we like that as well, to talk about guitars.
Did I? Oh my
Fantastic.
God! Okay, good.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Danke schön. You guys are awesome. Thank you, everyone who joined too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you
for
so
taking
much.
time. Yeah.
Tschüss, bye.
Pauline,
Ciao.
don't fly off.
Oh,
We'll
no.
talk to you just after
Oh,
the
no.
episode. We'll say
Okay.
goodbye to these beautiful people.
Okay,
and,
yes.
yeah. Okay, that's
Okay.
the end of the show. We'll be back next week with another wonderful guest. Dan, thank you for your time and your smiles and your beautiful face.
Thanks, Andy, for making all the preparations and setting up everything. And if anyone out there wants to kind of show their appreciation of the show, make sure to leave a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify, and make sure to tune in next week,
All right. Thanks.
Tuesday,
Bye-bye.
8:30. Bye.
Tschüss. Ciao.
Guitar Stories Podcast, your #1 show for